20-14. Jets get the job done as they beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Beat the Philadelphia Eagles for the first time ever. That felt good. All right, folks, let's recap it. Let's talk about it. That was an incredible win. Maybe one of the best Jet victories we have seen in a very long time. 3-3 are the New York Jets now after they stun the Philadelphia Eagles with an incredible come-from-behind victory in the final minutes to beat the Philadelphia Eagles for the first time ever. You know, I'll be honest with you, that game, it felt like it was going to be a loss for a very long time. You have the Jalen Hurts touchdown that was initially called down by contact at the 1-yard line. Even though it did appear that he got his hand over the goal line, he did lose possession of the ball. And as the referee says, you can't fumble the ball forward and have somebody else recover the ball in the end zone from the same team. And as a result, the Jets were granted the football back. But then as they went to commercial and they were showing that play again, I thought, they're going to reverse this, aren't they? And what did they do? Of course they reversed it and gave Jalen Hurts the touchdown. Then you have later in the game when the Jets have a golden opportunity. Golden opportunity, and this was what was so frustrating for watching the Jets in this game. The amount of golden opportunities the Jets had to do a lot of damage in this game, to put more than just field goals on the board. And it came in that third quarter. The Jets are down 14-9. And you get what looks like an offsides penalty on the Philadelphia Eagles, a free play, and Zach Wilson hits and connects with Garrett Wilson for 25 yards to put the Jets close to a goal line situation, and Alan Lazard gets flagged for a blindside block, even though when you look at the replay of the flag, it didn't look like a blindside block at all. But they called the flag anyway, and then they ruled against the Jets 15 yards on that foul back the other way, and the Jets end up getting nothing out of that drive except punting the football. These kind of plays were frustrating to watch all afternoon against the Philadelphia Eagles, and it felt like we were in store for a brutal loss to Philadelphia. Kind of what we've seen against the New England Patriots earlier this year, where the Jets had a lot of chances but couldn't cash in their opportunities. The offensive line was having a hard time blocking for Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson was under siege for parts of this game. Didn't have a great game, was pretty much average when you think about it. And up until the end, really hadn't established much of a ground game with Breece Hall, who was pretty much bottled up until that fourth quarter. And the Jets were getting opportunities. They're forcing the Philadelphia Eagles into turnovers. They're making plays defensively, yet still even got a missed field goal by the Eagles in this game, but still trailed 14-12. And it felt like this was going to be, a gut-wrenching defeat until all of a sudden, a Jets team that doesn't get these kind of plays and doesn't have these kind of moments seemingly ever gets the big interception by Tony Adams, of all people, in a game where the Jets are without Sauce Gardner, where they're without Brandon Echols, where they're without DJ Reed on their defense. And yes, the Eagles had injuries too, but so did the Jets coming into this game. And even in this game with Garrett Wilson getting hurt on the turf, we'll talk more about that in a second, and Joe Tippmann leaving this game. They found a way. And Tony Adams, not Jamal Adams, Tony Adams, stepping in front of a Jalen Hurts pass, picking it off, and nearly going to town to set up the Jets. And, of course, the Eagles let the Jets score. Breece Hall with that nice touchdown run, and then a nice pass by Zach Wilson. For the 2-point conversion. Puts the Jets up by 6, 20-14. And you're like, the Jets, even Mark Sanchez mentioned this on the broadcast. Did the Jets let the Eagles let the Jets score too quickly? Is this going to come back and bite them? But that defense stood, folks. That defense stood firm. and forced the Eagles 4 plays and out. Ball game over. That felt good. Normally I don't get too jacked up. You can tell I kind of am. I don't know how you cannot be jacked up after a game like that. I don't know how your blood pressure can't be up to here after a game like that. Three interceptions of Jalen Hurts in this game. The Jets forced 4 turnovers in a game, as I mentioned, where they have a bunch of guys missing on the defensive side of the football. And they still found a way to shut down the Eagles for the most part. Now, look, they got a lot of chunk plays. The Jets are not a great tackling team in space. We saw that as the case in the Chiefs game. We saw it in the case early in the Broncos game. We saw it early in this game against Philadelphia. But here they were just hanging around where the Jets had 14-9 going into the half. And you're thinking, they got a chance. They just got to cash in. And it felt like they were just going to miss out on it until they made the big play happen. And now, folks, the Jets sit here at 3-3, and everything is on the table. You can't tell me that this team now doesn't have a shot. They got a great shot. They got a great shot. Yes, I know A.J. Brown, 131 yards receiving for the Eagles. I understand that. When the Jets' defense need to make plays, they make plays. Bryce Huff with a couple of sacks in this game. Quincy Williams, outstanding as usual with the fumble recovery. Quinn Williams with the interception of his first ever interception of his career. As I mentioned, the player of the game right now, Tony Adams, with the pick that saved the day and gave the Jets the chance. A chance to steal victory from the jaws of defeat. How often do we say that? As I said, the Jets sit here in 3-3. In the AFC, that right now, as I've said a couple weeks ago after that Chiefs game, it is wide open. This is an AFC that's wide open. You want to say that right now, at the moment, the division is really between Miami or Buffalo. Right now, as I see here, Buffalo's trailing 6-0 to the Giants. As I'm recording this. See how that is when you're watching this video. But, okay, that's fine. But the wild cards are wide open as far as I can see. No one's running away with the North. No one's running away with the South. No one's, outside of Kansas City. There's really no one running away in that Western Division for a wild card slot. It's right there for the New York Jets to get in. And then you see images like this. Yes, folks, that's right, folks. He's not in a cast, not in a walking boot, not on crutches. Putting pressure on that plant foot is Aaron Rodgers, and he's throwing the football looking pretty good. Not saying he's coming back next week, not saying he's coming back in a couple of weeks. We may not, if he is true to his word, maybe we don't see him until December or late or early January. But man, oh man, there is a chance. There is a chance. And the schedule, if you want to go by just based on who they have on the schedule, does quote-unquote ease up a little bit here. You get the Giants, who have not, up to this point, looked that great. You have the Chargers, who are a Jekyll and Hyde team in their own right. Then you get the Raiders, who I know they're 3, what are they right now, 3-3 themselves? Yes, they're 3-3 as well. In Las Vegas, we're going to be there! Going into that big matchup with Buffalo the week before Thanksgiving. And then, of course, Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving with Miami coming here to the Meadowlands. The Jets have a chance. They have an opportunity now. They have gone through the so-called gauntlet of their schedule, the first half schedule. They beat the Eagles. They took care of the Bills. They took care of the Broncos. They should have beaten the Chiefs. You want to say they should have beaten the Patriots, that's fine too. But look, they're 3-3, and they got a chance. You got to love the way this defense comes to play every single week. They get after the quarterback. They put pressure on the quarterback. Even if they don't get sacks, they get enough pressure to force mistakes. They have so much depth, not just on the defensive line, but in the secondary as well. They can win games in so many different facets defensively. And if they could just get the offense together, if they can get that to click, they need some offensive line help. They need another weapon at wide receiver, in my mind. Can't all be just Garrett Wilson. And who knows, maybe a Christmas surprise. Who knows? Certain Santa Claus wearing the number 8 is going to make an appearance. We'll have to wait and see. Enjoy this one as the Jets go into their bye week. Well-earned, well-deserved for a team that fought its ass off to win this game. Like and subscribe. We'll talk to you next time.